Hey everybody, welcome back to Eternal Midnight. I'm here with James, and James and I are going to be talking about the announcement Kevin Feige made at San Diego Comic-Con on July 20th, 2019.
Quite big.
Oh, it was... Nobody was were you expecting it? I was certain they weren't going to announce Phase 4. I thought they were going to wait until D23 for it.
I thought we got some lackluster details and a bunch of sequels, and it would be pretty basic, but I think what we got was just so shocking and out there that I'm excited again.
Definitely. So basically what we're going to do today, guys, is we got some more in-depth videos coming. This episode, we're just going to be going over everything that was announced, our quick initial thoughts on it. Like I said, we're going to have more in-depth thoughts on everything in later videos. If there's certain ones you guys are more interested in, definitely stay tuned, wait for those. Those will definitely be here soon. This one right here, like I said, we're just going to be going over everything briefly, real quick, give our first initial thoughts on it.
And I think in the more in-depth ones, we'll probably go through the source material and explain a little context as well, so it'll be a bit informative.
Definitely. So, first one, the big one that almost nobody is excited for
Yeah.
is Black Widow on May 1st, 2020.
So they showed Taskmaster, and he is pretty lackluster. He looks like a sort of snowboarder. He doesn't look very intimidating, very TV budget, I'd say. And how she's meant to take down a villain that is supposed to be nearly unstoppable. They're clearly nerfing him. It's going to be a bit weird.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the way he looked, I just kind of rolled my eyes, because obviously they don't always translate the comics and cartoons accurately, but I just almost wish they'd taken inspiration from the way he looked in the Spider-Man PS4 game, because I thought he looked so badass in that the first time I fought him.
That means within 2 years, is it? Because whenever Avengers is coming out anyway, Taskmaster's the main villain there. He's the main villain in Black Widow, and he appeared in Spider-Man PS4. So I don't know what's with the Taskmaster craze right now, but personally, I don't think he'll fit very well in Black Widow. I do like the cast, though. Harbour's in it, isn't he? The guy that just played Hellboy and he was in Stranger Things. And I'm excited to see him because he's a good actor, but I don't know if this is going to be enough for the movie. I have heard that they're going to be going into Budapest stuff, though, in like flashbacks, so it's going to be a splice of both, but it is set between Civil War and Infinity War, so it's very limited. Because we already know where her character ends up, so it's not like they can do anything with her development.
Exactly, and at no point should anybody ever be like, oh my god, she might almost die. No, she's not. But I've never liked the character very much. I liked her in in Iron Man 2, and I actually really liked her in Endgame, but then they killed her, so the character doesn't mean anything to me, so the movie doesn't really interest me in the slightest. So if you like the character, I hope you enjoy it.
I like Black Widow. I don't think Scarlett Johansson can carry a movie, which is evident by most of her movies that she's carried. Poor reviews from audiences and critics. So I don't see this. This might be the first MCU flop since Dark World or Incredible Hulk. I think it's going to be in that sort of area.
I agree. So, following that, in the fall of 2020, we have probably the show I'm the most excited for, and this is the first on the list of the Disney Plus shows. In fall 2020, we're getting The Falcon and The Winter Soldier.
Yep, I'm very excited for this. It's not my number one, but Falcon taking up the shield and Winter Soldier making an appearance. It's quite exciting, and Zemo's coming back with his iconic mask.
Definitely.
That's pretty cool.
So I'm excited to see these guys team up, because I'm not the biggest fan of Civil War, but I gotta give it, Falcon and Winter Soldier, those guys, they got great chemistry together, those two actors.
Oh, they do. And the writer from John Wick is coming to do it, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So everything about this is spelling, what do you call it?
It's shaping up to be really good.
Yeah, it is, and I do like the logo. Very heavy focus on the shield. It's definitely propelling Falcon and Bucky forward out of Captain America's shadow, I think in the same way that Spider-Man stepped out of Iron Man's. So that's pretty exciting, and it's pretty close as well.
Definitely, and the fact that, like I said, I already like Falcon, I already like Winter Soldier. I think they did Zemo dirty in Civil War, so I'm really happy to see him gonna be showing up with the mask. That's all I've wanted. So I'm glad give me credit on that one, because I said for a while, Marvel does this to a lot of villains, one and dones. And yes, he did survive, but I was like, they ain't gonna do shit with him. So
The only one that's
I
really
mean,
ever come back is Loki, like properly.
exactly.
And it's a TV show, so he's probably going to appear a lot more. So that's quite exciting.
So this is another one where I'm gonna eat my words. I was wrong, and we've even got another one coming up two more from now where I'm gonna eat my words again. So I gotta learn now. At least with Phase 4, no more saying something's not going to happen because they're probably gonna prove me wrong. But yeah. So Falcon and Winter Soldier, that's gonna be good. So continuing on, next November 8th or 6th. November 6th, 2020. Sorry, picture was a little blurry. November 6th, 2020. We have probably, to me, the most mysterious of everything, and I'm always down for new characters in the MCU. Always.
Yeah.
We have Eternals.
So I'm not a big cosmic fan, comics or movies typically. I just don't think Marvel ever handles cosmic well. But I think with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, they showed they can do it better on the big screen. Guardians 2 and Thor Ragnarok showed it can be quite bad like in the comics, but I'm hoping Eternals will be... I'm hoping it'll be like Guardians 1 and that it's a refreshing new team that we don't know anything about that's totally different to everything else.
Yeah, and it's I mean, for me, honestly, I don't know I don't know anything about him. I don't know any. It's for me, it's I'm almost going into this as blind as I was when the first Guardians of the Galaxy came out.
Yeah.
I didn't know who they were. I just was like, you know what? This looks cool. These characters look interesting. I'm excited to see who they are, what they do with them. And seeing that first trailer, I was like, oh yes, that first trailer just completely sold me.
It's been directed by Chloe Zhao. It's got Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani. These are difficult names, by the way. Lauren Ridloff, Brian Tyree Henry, Salma Hayek, Leah McHugh, Don Lee, and Angelina Jolie. So it's a pretty good cast.
And the funny thing is, like, I'm looking at a picture of them right now. I've never heard of a single one of these characters.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like, no. You know this, but I'll tell everyone else. I don't really read. I read some Marvel, but I don't really read a lot of it. I read a lot more DC. So Eternals, it's almost the same as like Inhumans. Aside from Black Bolt and Medusa, aside from Black Bolt, who I've always known, Medusa I only knew because everyone made such a big deal out of how they shaved her head in that awful TV show. Yeah. But aside from that, like I don't know a single character from the Inhumans. So Eternals, I'm literally going in completely blind. And part of me wants to look into some of it, but another part of me is like, just leave it. I already know I'm excited for it. So I just would rather go in blind aside from the trailers.
The one thing I will say is I do think it has the worst logo so far.
It's very bland, but at the same time, I guess it works, but they could change it, same as, remember the original Thor Ragnarok logo?
Don't do that again.
Yeah, but maybe this time do it for the better.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. So what's the next one on the list?
So the next one on the list is February 12th, 2021.
Ooh,
this is another one, eating my words, because I was wrong again, but in my defense, this one happened a long time ago. Yeah. We got Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings.
And The Legend of the Ten Rings.
And The Legend of the Ten Rings.
I'm very excited for this. They've cast basically unknown actors to play the roles of the Mandarin and Shang-Chi himself.
Yes, that's the biggest thing. The Mandarin is going to be in this. They are finally giving the payoff for it. So here's my thing with it. While I am excited to finally see him, and I am, it just is still. It's almost like a backhanded compliment. We're finally going to give him to you, but his main adversary, Iron Man, is gone. So it's like, it'd be like if they did a bunch of Batman movies and then they did a Robin movie and Joker was the main villain in that. It'd be like it, but like I said, it is what it is. They fucked it up in Iron Man 3, so let's fix him in this.
But they've done something like this before with tying characters together in a way that they aren't in the comics, like Ego and Star-Lord being father and son. And the rumor is Shang-Chi is the Mandarin's son, so I think it could be quite interesting. Say what you want about Guardians 2. I personally enjoyed that they made those characters related, so I'm glad they're doing the same sort of thing here. And I mean, they set Loki up first as a villain in Thor, so they could set the Mandarin up as a villain first in Shang-Chi, and then take him to be the villain of the new Avengers if they really wanted to.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
That
I'd
would
love
be
to see
amazing.
something like that. If he's a recurring
Just keep
villain,
him around because I don't want Mandarin to be a one and done. I mean,
no,
he's,
no. But if he's Shang-Chi's father, I see him playing a. If they don't kill him, which I don't think they will after Iron Man 3, I think he'll be in each movie of the trilogy to an extent. And I can see him popping up in another movie or multiple other movies. He seems like their next logical step, like their next Loki, the recurring villain that fights multiple heroes. He could even
Definitely.
take an Iron Family character, maybe Rescue, War Machine, someone like that.
That'd be cool. And so when it comes to the character of Shang-Chi himself, I don't know anything about him. So
Based on Bruce Lee, that's all you really need to know. He's a martial artist.
then there we go. And that's another reason why, like we said, going into Phase, because coming out of Phase 3, you and I both said it a few times.
Too much comedy.
Marvel had to, well, that's a given. Phase 3 was way too much comedy. But Phase 3 again, while it was too much comedy, it was also a lot of playing shit safe.
Yeah.
And I was just like, now that Endgame is over, Marvel, you've got to do something to hook me, bring me in. And so far out of all of this, aside from Black Widow, everything here is bringing me in because it's all something new, different that we were not expecting, and it's a different genre like that. I mean, Shang-Chi, that's obviously going to be a martial arts film. So obvious, and unlike Iron Fist, hopefully they actually got someone who can do their own martial arts.
And then the thing with Phase 4 that I love is there's only 2 sequels, and both of them are going to be vastly different from the sounds of things. But the next one is WandaVision, right? Spring 2021.
WandaVision is the next Disney Plus show, spring 2021. I don't really have much to say on this one, mostly because I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
It's kind of low. It's in the middle, I'd say, of my list of the Disney Plus shows I'm excited for. I'm glad I'm gonna see Vision again because I liked him, and Wanda is always a pleasure to see because I think her character has been vastly underused in the MCU, and I'm really excited to see her in at least 2 items on this list. So I'm glad to get her back.
The big thing that has sold me on this, which is part of what's selling me on Phase 4 entirely, is that this will directly tie into Doctor Strange, which means that they're completely redoing the way they tell their stories now. So before it was basically movies that spanned over the course of a phase, and those movies were interconnected to a degree, whether how much varied basically. And you had the TV shows which were completely separate and done by Marvel Television. But the Disney Plus shows are done by Marvel Studios themselves and are an intricate part of the phase and link directly into the movies. And so you can't really go watching Phase 4 without watching the Disney Plus shows. So I think they're shaping up the way they are telling this phase. So I'm quite excited, and I think the reason Phase 4 is short is probably to test that.
Yep, I can see it.
Yeah, definitely. And so Wanda being directly linked to Doctor Strange is interesting. And Vision will be returning, and the Infinity Stones are destroyed, so I think they're going to go down the route of him being more android than human. That's going to be weird.
And seeing how he comes back is going to be interesting because last we saw, his color got drained after the stone got ripped out of his head, and he was just basically a gray android laying there on the ground, dead and out of power. So it'll be interesting to see who took his body, what they did with it, if Wakanda's been experimenting on it. Who knows? So it'll be interesting to see if maybe Wanda brings him back. Who knows?
And just to say, Feige did say this would be one of the most unique, I think, or most refreshing, something along those lines.
I think so.
So I don't know. I'm excited for how different it sounds, and I do love the logo.
Oh yeah, I like that logo. That is pretty cool.
I just don't like the name.
Yeah, it is pretty weird. But hey, who knows? That could be one of those things when we see it and we watch it, the name makes sense. Who knows? So, next one on the list, May 7, 2021. The movie I am probably number 2 on my list that I'm most excited for, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm so excited for this. And when Feige made the announcement, Wanda's going to be in the show. Oh, I cannot wait to see her and Strange both using their both, because that's what I love about the magic users in the MCU is their magic is so visually incredible looking to me. So
Oh yeah,
it's
it's
just
stunning.
it's going to be cool seeing both their versions of magic being used. And I mean, the biggest word at the beginning of it, multiverse.
Oh yeah.
It's finally here.
This is the thing I love though is there's two movies that they've announced in Phase 4, Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange. Both of them put something that fans have wanted for a long time in the title, showing it's going to be the focus of the movie. So Ten Rings being the Mandarin's terrorist organization, Multiverse of Madness, the multiverse. So I'm thinking they'll bring in alternate heroes or alternate villains in this movie. It'll be weird to see it, but it could be pretty cool. And my only hope is that if there's a scene at all where Doctor Strange is peering through the multiverse, I want a scene, even if it's for a split second and they don't have the actors back, where you just see a Spider-Man swinging through the city and it's either Mark Webb's or Sam Raimi's.
Shit,
But,
give us both.
yeah, do both. And
Give
you
us a
could
quick
just-
thing of both. I see no reason why Sony wouldn't agree to that.
Exactly, and if it's something where he's peering through the multiverse, which is something I could see Scott Derrickson doing in a sort of shot, sort of looking at the various different universes, and maybe we'll get a cameo from 616 as well, or a cartoon or something, Spider-Verse, who knows? But if he sees one of the original Spider-Men swinging across the city, that would just be a great Easter egg. There's so many Easter eggs you do with the multiverse, but that's one I want to see.
So yeah, when it comes to that, there's almost really no giant speculation we can go into about what the story itself will even be, because it's just the possibilities of that movie are endless. So it's just, aside from I'm pumped, I don't really have much else to say about it.
I'm just happy it's going to be a horror.
Yes, yep, I forgot to say it. You're right. Yes, they've said this is going to be the first horror film in the MCU. So. And it's like I said when I was talking to you earlier today. I just hope a lot of people out there who don't seem to understand what the horror genre is learn what it is before they watch it, so they don't go into it, walk out and go, "That sucked. It wasn't scary." Yeah, guys, horror movies don't have to be scary. Does the original Frankenstein scare you? No, it's still a horror film. Sorry.
Gives me nightmares to this day.
Oh yeah, that black light. I love those old movies, but sorry, they're not scary. But I mean, horror is a genre unto itself. It's not. The genre's not called scared silly. It's called horror. But
you could still do some quite scary stuff with the multiverse if they bring in characters like Mephisto or Dormammu. But we'll see what they do. I'm excited.
That's another thing. But it's like with Doctor Strange. Just real quick before we move on from this, Doctor Strange, we've still got a lot of stuff from him that isn't resolved that we need to see either in this or other upcoming movies. We still got we still got Mordo we need to see. Dormammu obviously has to come back at some point, because I refuse to believe that Dormammu's presence in the MCU was limited to that one cameo in the first one.
No, it won't be. I doubt it.
No, and I actually want to see Dormammu this time, not just his rainbow head.
Yeah.
So, moving on, next one, the next Disney Plus show, the one I am probably the least excited for.
Oh, they're just milking it at this point.
Is Loki. But the thing that I'm probably the most, I don't want to say disappointed in, because at this point, it's like back in the day, actors didn't want to get typecast, and I know even Hiddleston himself said he didn't want to get typecast, but maybe he's just realized, maybe he either has gone back on what he said, or they offered him a shitload of money, or he doesn't, or he realized his career just isn't taking off like he wanted to. But that's why I was shocked when they actually said it, because I'm like, I thought he wanted to be done, but okay.
Yeah, it's a prequel, right? There's 3 prequels in this lineup.
I thought they said it took place right after he escaped with the Tesseract and the one timeline.
Oh yeah, okay, that's weird. It's what can I say? It's basically an excuse to bring Tom Hiddleston back in, because
which I'm fine with him coming back.
It's like the fans can't let go of Loki, I feel, and I think Infinity War was the perfect way to just say goodbye, Loki. We're done with this character now. It's such a shame that they're not ending it there, because he's the only villain really that has recurred so many times. There's plenty more they could do that with. Dormammu, they could do it with Doctor Doom now, they can do it with the Mandarin. And I feel like milking Loki, it's just taking a spot on this list that I don't really think
that could have gone to somebody else.
Yeah, there's so many characters, I think, in the MCU that have been neglected, heroes and villains. that they could give a Disney Plus show, because that seems to be what they're doing with the shows. They're giving the neglected characters a spotlight.
Mhm.
So Falcon, Winter Soldier, Wanda and Vision, and Hawkeye. But this one, it's just sort of, well, we've seen a shitload of Loki. Why do we need to see more of him? I mean,
I would
I'd
have
rather Sif
I
or
would have
War
preferred
Machine.
like a. Did you just say War Machine?
Yeah, War Machine or Sif.
That's what I was just about to say. I would have preferred a War Machine show, like him doing something with the military still or something. I don't with the War Machine suit or something. I don't know, but maybe Don Cheadle's sick of maybe Don Cheadle's done too. I don't know.
Well, there's rumors of a War Machine show coming.
Okay.
All of the leaks have been true so far, and the only ones that haven't been officially announced are War Machine and Lady Sif. And those are two I'd rather see, to be honest, because, I mean, yeah, like I said, Loki is oversaturated in the MCU now, and there's so many other characters, so this is one I'm not particularly excited for, but, I mean, I'm going to have Disney Plus to watch the rest, so
Yeah.
I'll still watch it, but...
Exactly. It's like it'll be there. So and that's nothing with these shows. We'll talk about the shows at the end. Just something you and I have discussed before. So so Loki, yeah, it'll be there. We're not exactly excited for it, but when it comes and we get a trailer, who knows? It could change our minds.
Yeah.
So next on the list, summer 2021, the only animated one, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
What if? ... Question mark.
So I just want to say I really hope that this isn't your bog standard sort of DC style animation with their movies. I'm hoping it's a little bit more stylistic like we got with Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Because I don't really like that whole, kids cartoon animation style. I think it's really boring.
And I don't want full on Pixar CGI either.
No, I want it to be 2D, but I want it to be the sort
stylized, like you said.
So Spider-Verse is CGI, but it's made in such a way it appears more 2D, and it's like a nice healthy blend between both.
It looks like a comic. It looked like a comic book.
Exactly, that's what I want from What If. So What If is, as the name would imply, they take an event and they say, what if this happened instead? So what if Red Skull beat Captain America in the first Avenger? It's an interesting concept. They've got the guy from Westworld. He's voicing the Watcher. So I think it's an exciting concept. It's very different. That's all I wanted from Phase 4, so I'll take it.
For anyone out there who doesn't know who the Watcher is, go back and watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and look for Stan Lee's cameo. That's the Watcher he's hanging out with.
It's basically a group of people that monitor the universe and record it, and they very, very rarely interfere. So they're sort of like the law keepers of the Marvel universe, or the MCU universe in this case. So I think it'll be interesting to see them telling the story, and I thought it would just be random, like an anthology like Black Mirror, but having a Watcher voicing it is quite exciting. I think that'll definitely keep it refreshing and have some continuity between episodes.
The story, I'm sure the stories they're going to come up with are are going to be hopefully creative, but like you said, the biggest thing that's going to sell me on this is it's going to be the animation style. They've got to come up with something interesting and different. Because I mean, obviously this is coming from Disney, so they've obviously got the ability to use their own CGI department, the Pixar department, their own animators. But I want them to draw some different form of animation. Maybe each episode a different style or something like that. Maybe like some anime or something.
I just hope it's not Clone Wars where they try to emulate.
Oh God.
Yeah, when they try to emulate the actual movies and it just looks uncanny valley creepy and never ages well. And I don't want it to be Pixar because it's very clay-like and it's very stop-motion in appearance. And I don't want it to be your bog standard cartoons on Saturday morning 2D. I don't want any of that, because the rest of these Disney Plus shows have budgets that rival movies. So if you're going to do that, really pour some heart and soul into the animation. But personally, I can't see them doing that, so I'm not getting my hopes up, but it would be nice.
Definitely. So after that, basically over the course of this, we're getting something from the MCU about every 4 months, it seems.
Yeah.
So right now we're moving on to I think the one you're the most excited for.
Oh, I am so excited.
Fall 2021 Hawkeye with and who's finally showing up?
Kate Bishop, and the logo is exactly like Matt Fraction's comic, and that is one of my favorite comics of all time. It's so brilliantly written, it's so down to earth, and the chemistry between Clint and Kate is just phenomenal, and it's not daughter father sort of relationship. It's a depressed guy that can't get off his ass and snarky sarcastic girl that winds him up about it, and it's just brilliant. and the reveal video, it was like seeing a Matt Fraction comic coming to life, because it is animated. But I'm really excited for this because I mean the logo, the cast, they're bringing Jeremy Renner back. They've got Kate Bishop coming.
I'm just glad Renner is finally getting what he deserves. He's finally getting to do something, for fuck's sakes.
Yep, and if they're adapting Matt Fraction's comic, I get it being a show more than a movie because that would not work as a movie. So I think this will be good, and I'm really excited for it because it's a sequel to Endgame. So it's.
And the funny thing is, out of all the rumors, this was the only one I never really heard anything about. So that's probably why I'm the most hyped for it, because it was one of the only ones I didn't see coming aside from What If.
Oh, I saw this one coming. I was excited.
Okay.
I was really hoping it would be true, and it is.
Mm-hmm. So, final one of Phase 4 that's listed is... I'm sure I'm in the minority on this one. This is the one I'm the most excited for, and the ironic part, me and James were literally talking about it that morning.
Yep.
And I remember I was like, wouldn't this be cool? And you were like, I don't know. We're getting Thor, Love and Thunder, and we're getting Natalie Portman back as Jane, becoming the new Thor.
Yeah, so I didn't think they'd get Portman back because of
I didn't either.
Her tenure. But yeah, I've seen some people slating the name, but I think the name and the logo. No, the name and the logo, very 70s, very He-Man.
He-Man. I was gonna go heavy metal.
Oh yeah, I mean I want some AC/DC playing in this.
Yes, it just Love and Thunder, and it's just like I've already seen so many people out there who are just like, who cares? But it's like the reasons I've seen, and these could be either fans speculating or actual reports. But the biggest thing is because we all remember basically Portman went out, I guess, on a bad note after Dark World, because she obviously never showed up again. And the rumors she went out on such a down note is she was sick of being the damsel in distress. She wanted to she actually wanted to do something.
I don't blame her.
No, I don't either. Who the hell would want to be a damsel in distress?
I think all love interests at that point in the superhero genre were utterly shit, so her taking a stand is commendable.
Yep. So, and it's another thing where a lot of people are going, oh my god, she's gonna be the new Thor. She's so small. That's something I'm so tired of people saying in Hollywood, or about people in Hollywood. You people gotta remember, there's these things called gyms. Yeah. And celebrities are rich. They can afford these things called personal trainers. These people can bulk up pretty fast if they want to. And honestly, sorry, women in real life, there are some women who are massive, like who are bodybuilders, but not all women look like drawings of barbarians from like old comics. They're not all completely shredded and ripped.
But even in the Lady Thor comic, she's not exactly giant and buff like the original Thor is. So I don't see this as a stretch, and the part that I've seen piss some people off, and I don't see why, it's very, I don't know what I'd say, easily offended people, is that Valkyrie's looking for a queen to rule by her side.
Who cares?
Yeah, that's...
Let it go. If it bothers you, don't go see the movie.
But this is the thing. So Taika Waititi's returning to direct, and the big problem I had was that he was given a movie that was intended to be serious, that was adapting Planet Hulk and Ragnarok. Now, those are two very dark stories, and you hire a comedian. So I think that was doomed for me to not enjoy it, because it was such a tonal clash for what we were seeing and what was being said. It felt jarring.
Well, and it's like we said earlier, the original logo for Thor Ragnarok was hinting at a dark film, and then just out of the blue one day they released the new logo, and it was okay. That logo itself screams complete tonal shift.
Oh, definitely. And so I didn't think it worked adapting a serious story like that with a comedic director. It was very Spider-Man 3, I felt, and that they were trying to cram too much stuff in, and they did it in such a tonally jarring way. But then this, when you listen to the plot and you see who's directing it, it fits better, I think. Taika Waititi is the perfect director to do something like this, and it sounds more like he's come up with this rather than Marvel's come to him and went, yeah, we're doing Ragnarok and we wanted it serious, but we want you now, so make it a comedy. It sounds more like Taika's gone, I want to do another Thor movie. How about Valkyrie's the queen, she's looking for a queen, and Thor passes the mantle on to Jane. So,
which I'm so pumped for that, because this is like almost the first time we're actually seeing the passing of a torch in the MCU. We're finally seeing a character.
No, we saw it in Endgame.
kind of.
You gave
Well,
the shield to
okay,
Falcon.
well, okay, second time, whatever.
Well, it'll be the third time by the time it happens, because Hawkeye will probably pass the mantle to Kate Bishop.
Okay. Well then, okay, Phase 4 is the first time we're seeing.
It's basically all the mantles getting passed down. That's what this
right.
is. Yeah.
So I'm excited. Overall, I think Phase 4 literally that announcement at Comic-Con did exactly what I wanted it to do. It got me hyped, and it's not just a string of sequels, and they're doing exactly what we said. You and I both said it. We wanted something different, and Phase 4 is giving us something different.
I also forgot the rumor about Black Widow is she's also passing the torch onto the next Black Widow. So there's 4 mantle passings in this. I think.
In the comics, who did she pass the?
Yelena or something? Yelena? I don't. It was something like that. I don't really follow it, but the rumor is she's passing the mantle on, and they've got a few actors and actresses cast that don't have named roles yet. So I think it's likely true, because all the other rumors have been true.
So before we move on to the quick final thing, this is just something real quick. We'll obviously go into more detail into this another day. How do you think the post-credit scenes from Far From Home are going to tie into this?
So obviously spoilers.
At least the one. I think it's been long enough.
Yeah, but we'll say this now before we.
We'll do quick spoiler. I guess we'll put it down below in the description. If you want to skip this quick spoiler discussion, we'll put it down in the description where you can jump to. If you want to skip this part, and we'll cease talking about it when we get there. But so turn it off now. Skip ahead, pause it, whatever you want, and then come to the point where we're done talking about it. But mostly, obviously we'll discuss Spider-Man in the MCU another day, but I'm talking more Nick Fury and the Skrulls. Yeah,
so, one, I want to say I think that 2021 will likely have 4 movies, because I don't think they're allowed to announce a Sony movie. So I think we'll have Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Thor, and Spider-Man in 2021. So I think that Nick Fury and the Skrulls will probably not come into play until Captain Marvel 2.
Okay.
But I think we will see Spider-Man again in 2021. But I think Captain Marvel was meant to be Phase 5, so it's going to be a while, I think, before Sword actually gets to play in. Unless, and this is the only place I can see them actually using it, is Thor: Love and Thunder or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I'm not too sure, because if they introduce S.H.I.E.L.D. or grounded Sword like they had in Spider-Man, I think those are the places we'll see them.
Yeah, because it's not going to fit into any of those 2021 shows, and it's not going to fit into Multiverse of Madness, because at least looking at the way they discussed, Fury talked in Far From Home, I'm assuming Multiverse of Madness was happening during it, so who knows?
Yeah, and I think Fury's going to be very much the bridge between Cosmic and Grounded, I feel, with Sword. Because he has his own operations going on in the galaxy, and he has his own operations going down on Earth. So I think he's probably the bridge, and I think we'll probably see the more S.H.I.E.L.D.-esque elements like we did in Far From Home and Falcon and Winter Soldier, maybe, or it'll be very government-based, because the rumor is that it's going to have a U.S. agent in it, and we're going to see We're going to see the government hire their own Captain America to take on the role, and Falcon will have to vie. Steve Rogers gave me the shield, I have to do it, so he'll go through that.
Cool.
Thor is Cosmic, so we may very well see Sword make an appearance there, but I don't think so.
That'll be hard, because at least with that logo, it's again screaming space again, so I'm assuming at some point they're going to go off-world again, trying to find a new Asgard, maybe? But I think that's the reason why I'm the most intrigued by that one of everything, is it's just, you look at it and it's just like the introduction of Jane Foster coming back, taking over the mantle. The main question is how and why. So I think that's why I'm the most intrigued into it.
What if she's Valkyrie's queen and that's how she ends up in New Asgard? That'd be interesting. But I don't know.
I don't know. I almost feel like that would be a contrived coincidence.
Probably, yeah. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I want them to stay in Norway, but they can still do cosmic stuff. I want to see Hela return.
I just can't wait to see how and why Jane is gonna get her own. What do you think? Do you think she'll forge a new Mjolnir? Is she gonna get Stormbreaker? What?
I can see what I'm hoping for at least is I think
Because
Thor.
She had Mjolnir up on stage.
Yeah, so what I'm expecting is they'll reforge Mjolnir. We might see Peter Dinklage's character return. I hope so.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So we might get a new Mjolnir enchanted by Thor himself, and perhaps he recruits her or something. I don't know. But I'm hoping he'll pass Stormbreaker to Beta Ray Bill. And maybe this will be the movie where Hemsworth steps down, and this is him basically saying, look, I'm retiring. Beta Ray Bill, I choose you. Jane Foster, I choose you. Continue being Thor out there and take the mantle.
And do you think he retires or dies or what?
I can see him retiring because he's suffering from depression. We saw that in Endgame. He completely sunk into nothingness and felt worthless because he failed. But now he's gone on that journey and he's brought everyone back and he's defeated Thanos. So realistically, I think his character is in a place where he can just go, I've gone through all this shit. I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm done. Fuck it. Everyone else can deal with it. Just gonna go play Fortnite and drink alcohol. And I could see that happening because he's in a place where I think he could just fall into that, where he'll just go, yep, I lost my brother, I lost my mother, I lost my father, I lost my homeworld, I lost my friends.
I killed my sister.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, that's it.
Basically everything he listed in was it Infinity War or Endgame where he listed? Yeah, it was Infinity War.
Yeah.
What about your mother? Killed by a dark elf.
See, I could just see him going,
yeah. His home's destroyed, his family's dead.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I couldn't see Captain America retiring. I think that was shit. I couldn't see Iron Man retiring properly, so I'm glad he's dead. So, not glad in that way, but you know, like, because RDJ was out.
I was sick of his character anyways. So,
but I mean, like, RDJ wanted out,
right.
So him retiring wouldn't have been believable. But Thor is a character where I can see him settling down. So maybe he decides
him and Hulk go off world.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe his ego is just so big that he's like, well, one person can't replace me, but two people could.
That would be cool.
So that might work. I think Beta Ray Bill needs to appear, so that'd be cool.
So basically, that was the announcement of Phase 4, and then the crowd is standing, cheering. Everyone, all the cast is up on the stage.
Where can you go from this?
What's that?
You can't top that. That's the point where I thought, right, 5G has just blown it out the water. There's nowhere you can go from here.
Yep, and then he decided to end with just a few more sentences that just the whole place just basically like went apeshit at this
Blew
point.
the internet.
It just so basically he just did a real quick announcement where he was just like
sequels.
He's like, hey everyone, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you've enjoyed Comic-Con so far, but we announced a lot of stuff here, but I didn't even have time to announce a few more things. So he threw a few more out there, which these ones, there's no release dates yet for any of these. He basically said there was no time to discuss Black Panther 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Captain Marvel 2, and then here came the big ones that just blew everyone away. Fantastic Four and Mutants. Now, Mutants, you and I were talking about this earlier. I do not think there was a capital M on Mutants. I do not think this was the film he was talking about. He was talking about mutants in general.
Yeah, I think he was talking about how we're going to bring mutants into the MCU. So that might not even be in an X-Men movie. So that's why I think he said it like that.
Yup. And then the biggest one, I think even bigger than Fantastic Four and Mutants, was what was the last thing that happened. Mahershala Ali came out on stage, and it was kind of just like, hey, this, the guy who played Cottonmouth, what's he doing here? The guy threw on a hat, the lights, everything went off, and the screen just lit up, and it said Blade.
Yep.
That's where I was like, holy shit, yes!
And I saw a thing where he basically came up to 5G, apparently. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but he came up to 5G and basically gave him a ring and said, I want to play Blade. And 5G went, well, when a guy who has 2 Oscars comes up and says he wants to play a character, you don't say no.
Right. I just love that. He's like, when someone like Mahershala Ali calls you, you don't ignore him.
I know, and it's brilliant, and I'm hoping if he has this much pull, he'll also convince them to make it R-rated, and this could be the first R-rated MCU movie. Because there's no way you do Blade PG. No way.
I could see it. I really could.
'Cause if it's PG, it's going to be like Venom, and I think Feige will look at Venom and go, well, that didn't work. Maybe we should go R-rated. And maybe they'll use the Fox brand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why they shouldn't. I mean, because that's the only way they're going to get Deadpool to be still around.
Exactly.
Because I don't see the point in making Deadpool PG-13. So it's like this could be
yes, but Solo no.
Well, this could be Feige and Iger's. This could have been Feige and Iger's plan all along. Now that they have the Fox brand, they're still connected to the MCU, but they're not released under the Disney title.
Yeah, but that's Iger said he wanted to use Deadpool to create an R-rated corner of the MCU. Now, if what was said is true and Ali came to Feige and said, I want a Blade movie, they could turn that around and say, well, maybe we could just use Blade to segue into the R-rated section of the MCU, which I think would be a more suiting way to do it, because you could go from there and have Moon Knight, and you could even open up the door to the supernatural side of the MCU with a Ghost Rider movie and show off Mephisto and Morbius and Dracula and all the other characters in the more supernatural side of things.
Because at that point, then they really will be catering to the horror community, which is something the MCU has not done anything for yet. So and horror being my favorite genre, I'm all for it.
Exactly, yeah. It's exciting. And then obviously Fantastic Four, no details on that at all, not even a cast. But the mere fact he's doing it.
Yeah, aside from Mahershala Ali as Blade, there was zero details on everything else that is, I'm assuming, Phase 5.
Yeah.
So there was no details on it. No dates, no cast, nothing. So, the rest of it is all up in the air right now. I'm assuming, I could be wrong, more of this stuff could get some information at D23 later in the year, but it could be another few years before it could be another year before we hear anything. So, I don't know. I just know that, Feige and Marvel, they took Comic-Con by storm on Saturday night.
I think at D23, because he did say he was going to talk more about the stuff, which you listed. So I think we'll hear more about the sequels, and I think we'll hear more about Fantastic Four and what the plan is with the mutants. But I think him ending on that note is more of a way to hype up D23 and sort of say, well, come here, listen to this, and we'll tell you about the Fox stuff, which is what everyone really wants to hear about.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So I can see them doing that, because what more can they talk about there? Because we know practically everything we need to know right now about this stuff. So I'm expecting a Black Widow teaser to come there, more talking about Fantastic Four, and more stuff on mutants. I don't think we'll get much from Blade yet, though.
And the funny thing is, at this point, I could be jumping the shark a little bit. Basically, with Marvel running the comic movie industry right now, I wouldn't even be shocked if in a few years just D23 becomes almost the new Marvel platform every year for announcements, and they just almost stop going to San Diego Comic-Con. Because they could easily monopolize it if they wanted to.
Oh, true, but they steal the spotlight if they go to Comic-Con, and it helps them to hype up D23. So
that's what I mean. D23 at some point is going to become even bigger than Comic-Con if they continue. Because don't forget, they're also, now that they're going to have all the Fox properties that they'll be able to use, they've got Star Wars to use. So at some point, D23 is going to become just as big, if not bigger, than SDCC.
Oh, definitely. But, Phase 4 is only 2 years, but it's a packed 2 years. I think 10 things in total. So, it's exciting.
I know, I can't believe it. 6 shows and 4 movies.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see them intertwining shows and movies together in such a way, but it's good. Yeah, I don't see this failing. I hope I'm not wrong, and I hope this is good.
I think it will be. I'm honestly more excited for this lineup than I was for the Phase 3 lineup.
Yeah, Phase 3 was too comedic, whereas with this we've got spy thriller, space sci-fi, grounded buddy cop, martial arts, horror. Animated, a sort of 80s comedic movie. I don't know what that'll be like, Thor, but and then Hawkeye is sort of a grounded duo sort of movie. I don't know what you would call that.
It's a very cool, diverse set of films. I think I'm honestly excited. Aside from Black Widow, I'm honestly excited for all of them. There's not a single one that I'm looking at with like any form of I'm unsure about that. Every single one, aside from Black Widow.
Black Widow and Loki.
Yeah. Even Loki, I'm kind of interested to see what it's. I guess Loki will be more. What is it when I get more information about it? But I like Tom Hiddleston as Loki, so it's like as oversaturated as he is, and as much as I think this is really falling back on themselves, where it's like like you said, they gave him his out, and now they're just falling back on themselves. So I don't know, but it'll be interesting. But that's what I'm saying. Loki's also last of all the shows I'm excited for. So
yeah, that's fair.
I still want to see it, but I'm not mega pumped for it. But
no.
But out of all of them, yeah, it's not a single one looks bad. They all interest me. I'm excited for all of them, and Disney Plus is only a few months away, so.
Yeah, and you'll be getting The Mandalorian, Clone Wars, Monsters Inc., and a bunch of other stuff. So that's not too bad.
You know what? We'll go over more of the Disney Plus, what's going to be on it. We'll do that in a future episode.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, what are you guys looking forward to? What movie do you want to see most? What show? Let us know. Thanks for watching.